Up next is A Conscious Throughout Time. I can tell you, producers sidechain the reverb. There's a lot of reverb going on in this album. I like it. Oh, there's that black metal. Yeah, it's really good, dude. What the fuck just happened? Oh, back up, okay. BPM switch back up. Dude, you guys are just laying it all out there with these violins, man. It got that kind of like Neoblomoscaris vibe, dude. I love it. Like Neoblomoscaris and Hedomorphic Zoo is another new band that uses violins. Really cool. This is beautiful, dude. Back into the BPM switch. It's got like a Doom vibe a little bit, this part. So far I'm getting cosmic black metal, progressive black metal, melodic black metal, Doom, and symphonic. Got like a Winter Sun vibe here. Whoa. What's going on with these drums, dude? Oh, it's gotta be your last album you play in the concert. Or not the album, but the last song of the concert. Right into Vermilion Fog of War. This is a re-listen. Very amorphous here. This part here. Chris is nailing those drums, dude. So fucking tight. Reminds me of Winter Horde so much, bro. Love that scream, bro. Don't mind me, I'm writing down my influences so that way I don't forget. I'm old, remember? Always forgetting shit, bro. The story of my life. Boom. Awesome, bro. Awesome fucking track. Spoken into well. Very atmospheric. like that. I got kind of an Oceans of Slumber kind of vibe coming from the instruments. This is a really good song. The melodic vocals in the very beginning reminded me of What Words Create off of Ascension. The chorus of What Words Create, excuse me. The chorus of it, not the whole song. Yeah, dude, this album is way more atmospheric than what you guys have ever brought out. Ambient black metal. Cosmic black metal. Not really cosmic, because it's not cyber and industrial. It's more ambient black metal. But cosmic black metal is it cyber? Yeah, it's cyber black metal. That's what it is basically. But yeah, it's got ambient rather than cosmic. The finale, Transcendence Through Grief. This acoustic guitar really bringing off the vibes of that album right there, the very beginning of it. It also brings out the vibe of Slice of Cake acoustic songs that are on Odyssey to the West. And a Legion. It's a really beautiful band, man. I love all the elements you guys bring together. Just... Dude, bands like this are so hard to find. Like, this band, fucking that band right there. That band. It's talent. Love that. Who's playing that lead guitar? Awesome, man. Yeah, this reminds me of Winter Horde. Neo. More Will to Run vibes with this track here. I think I got my 5 though. What band is Antoine in? Oh, really? Listen to that delay reverb on that lead guitar. That's sick, bro. Oh, Andy McKee, yeah, he's very famous. It's a Fate album, who gives a fuck? It's the end of the album, right? Really good album, dude. Really good fucking album. I am very impressed with you guys, man, coming out of Abreaction. Very, very impressed with this album compared to Abreaction. Like, it's a step forward, and I can see you guys definitely getting a few calls from a different, you know, I'm not gonna say different record label, but it could happen. I'm not shitting on M Theory Audio if they watch this. Sorry if I shit on your record label, but yeah, I see a lot. I see you guys getting more known for this. This album and Ascension are definitely your best albums. Do I like this better than Ascension? Fuck no. But still.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
So far I don't. But it is second best for sure.
Okay.
The one thing that I love about this is that you guys also kept your sound, and then you introduced a new sound as well, which is ambient black metal, and that's not really your guys' thing. Because let's take it back. Let's take it back a notch. Restoration, you guys were just black metal, progressive black metal, melodic black. Well, not really too much melodic there, but progressive black metal is probably the best term for that album. And then you went to Ascension, and that was your guys' hugest change there. That was like that evolution from Restoration to Ascension was pretty fucking huge. As far as I'm concerned, that was definitely your biggest evolution. Because you went into melodic black metal there. And you added some ambient, but not too much. But
we added symphonic to that.
Yeah,
mostly.
symphonic was also
that
added
was
to
the
that
big
album.
change.
Symphonic and melodic as well. And then that reaction, you brought in shoegaze, which is alright. But regardless, we're gonna buy all your guys' vinyls if you get them on vinyl. But yeah, I really
you're
like
in
this.
for a surprise, brother. Let me tell you.
I really like this. It's very, very different from your guys' last album and last 3 albums. Like I said, it's very atmospheric, very ambient. I'm probably gonna guess that the next part is completely fucking opposite, and I'm very, very excited to check it out. Is there anything you guys want to say before I get into this review? And then we'll jump into a break, maybe a 5-minute or 10-minute break, and then we'll jump right into the second part.
What do you got, boys?
Aaron. Okay, there.
Oh yeah. No, I was gonna say, yeah, no, it's just interesting to hear people's perspective on the albums, just in terms of how they feel about them, in terms of viewing, I guess, the progression of the music. I would say for, I guess I don't want to speak for everybody in the band, but I feel like anytime Jimmy and I, well, I'll say Jimmy. That's what I call him. I've called him that for 18 years, so I'm gonna call him Jimmy. When Jimmy and I talk about Amiensus, I feel like we've kind of reached a point where, even when there was periods of times where I wasn't super involved with the band, like, we just kind of knew what the sound was, and whether or not anything that we were writing or anything that was being written that he was showing me, we kind of just knew. So I feel like as a band as a whole, even though we have people coming in and out that have been in previous albums and coming in, like, it's kind of nice that I feel like we've reached a point, and the other guys can speak to this if they want to, where, like, I feel like we've reached a point where we just know what an Amiensus song sounds like, despite there being a lot of different sounds and obviously different genres throughout the different songs. So I'll let the other guys take it, but it's just, yeah, no, I appreciate hearing your thoughts on the different albums as well.
Yeah, this is Jimmy, or James. Most people do call me Jimmy. But in any case, yeah, no, Aaron's like spot on. Like, we will definitely occasionally like, hey, here's like a minute and a half of some riffs, and it'll sound like nothing we've maybe ever even touched on genre-wise in the past. But then once everybody else gets a listen up to it, obviously, like, we all have our own perception of that riff, or there's multiple riffs, and then we kind of ambiensify it and bring it into like this mold where eventually once other people get their hands on it, it becomes Amiensus, if that makes sense. So like it can sound out of left field as compared to previous material, and I think you're about to fucking find out with part 2 here, how some of these songs ended up in this album. I'm glad. I'm assuming you haven't read any like reviews and stuff that other websites
No,
have done.
I haven't listened to a single damn song on this next part, dude.
Okay,
Cool.
So
Yeah.
Todd, give your 2 cents here.
No, I mean, I agree. It's kind of like Amiensus is kind of like a stew that everyone's tossing different ingredients into, and it really blends together in the end.
It's like
to
Wilder
feel like
Run, man.
Amiensus.
It's literally
Yeah,
like
definitely.
you guys should definitely tour with them again. I feel like that is like your guys' most sounded like band, except you guys don't have the same vocals as them. But dude, everything else is just spot on Wilder Run. And Wilder Run, Alex will tell me, Alex will tell you that was the first album that blew my fucking mind that he requested on the stream. It was so fucking good. I bought their vinyl. I even bought their new album that I haven't even heard. I heard 2 songs off of it. That's it. But I buy albums just to support bands, right? Before I listen to their albums on like YouTube or some shit, or when I would do Twitch.
Yeah.
But, dude, I feel like that is your guys' brother band. That's just what I feel. That's what I hear. But yeah.
That's fair. I think that's a pretty fair comparison overall. I'm not like I've listened to their latest album like probably 2 or 3 times, and definitely a lot of similarities there. I feel like, and now this is like a companionship because we've done multiple splits with them, and we have our Discord channel with these guys, and they live in Minnesota. But Oak Pantheon is like maybe not sonically the closest thing to us, but like that's our best friend band. As far as the Amiensus goes, and we do have a lot of similar song styles overall. So that may be, I know we get to pick something at the end, that might be one of my picks.
All right, so we're going to jump into this review. I'm going to go ahead and mute myself again, guys, and then we'll unmute after I come up with my 2 cents and can listen to all this bullshit I'm about to spurt out. All right, let's do this. All right, guys, so this is my review. So Pasta's picks. What are my favorite? Yeah, right. Enable of Scares, Water Run, Amiensus, and Opeth. Bro, that would be a fucking amazing tour. That would be so sick, dude. Alright, so Pasta picks, dude. What are my 3 favorite what are my 3 favorite songs on this part? Number 1 is Reverie. Dude, the chorus in this song, let's listen to that again. Yeah, dude. That's Mule, dude. That's fucking Mule. I hear Mule in that. I don't know why, but I do. But, dude, that chorus. Wow. Dude. Best track on this album, dude. Fucking amazing. I think my second favorite. Yep, A Conscious Throughout Time, dude. This one right here, dude. Oh, I don't know, man. The violins on this track, and with the panning and the pan voices, the melodic pan voices, really, really awesome track. I just love this. This is just a great track. It's very, very heart-pumping track, especially when it gets down to the double bass on the drummer with Chris. Is it Chris? It's Chris, right? Chris Piet on drums. But dude, wow. Awesome fucking song. I love this song. And my third favorite, Spoken Into Will. This track here was a ride. Very progressive. I love the different elements that were just getting introduced. I love the melodic vocals in the beginning. Really brought out that what words create vibe, and that is one of my favorite songs on Ascension. So to hear that again, that you guys threw that in the mix again, that was really, really cool. I like that. That was a really good song. All right, album MVP, Chris Piet. Dude, I gotta give it to him. Ascension was Alec. Restoration was who? Who did I give Restoration? I can't remember who I gave Restoration. I think it was James, or was it James? Who the fuck did I give Restoration? Was it Joe? Joe Waller. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it was Joe. I think this time around we're gonna give it to Chris, dude. Chris's drumming on this album was really fucking good, dude. Like, really fucking good. I love the EQs on his drum set, too. Really, especially the ride cymbal. The ride cymbal was just pinpointed perfectly at the perfect frequency, the exact frequency that ride hits that sound. And it's just like, wow. It was just awesome, dude. Your engineer really fucking nailed that sound with the EQ for sure, dude. I love that. Definitely awesome. Definitely Chris. Similarities. Alright, so we're just gonna jump into it. Number 1 similarity for this album, Neo Obliviscaris. For sure, dude. The violins, the ambience, the melodic vocals, the dark vocals. Very Neo Obliviscaris vibe with this album in particular. Definitely gonna give it to them for sure. Yeah, the cello. Yeah, a lot of these songs are really reminding me of When Plagues Flowers the Kaleidoscope. When Plagues Flower the Kaleidoscope. Yeah. Yeah. Number 2, Winter Sun. I feel like Winter Sun was a pretty big influence for this album too, or like similarity for people that listen to this. Definitely the screams really brought out that jarry vibe. So yeah, we're gonna give it the Winter Sun for sure. Number 3, Winter Horde. Very melodic, very black metal, very progressive. And if you guys haven't listened to this band, they are freaking amazing. Please do me a favor, just go listen to it. Just go fucking do it, please. Just do it. Just stop this video now. Go do it. All right. Underwater Moon is an amazing album. I reviewed it in 3 years ago, 3 or 2 years ago. Can't remember. Amazing fucking album. Number 4, Amorphous. Yeah, I'm hearing Amorphous. Very, very amorphous. Yeah, it's got the acoustics. It's got the melodic vocals. It's still got the black metal. It has doom metal. I wasn't expecting doom metal in this album. But definitely amorphous. And finally, our final similarity. There is melodic vocals in here, so we're gonna give it to Wilder Run. Yep, Wilder Run for sure. Would be the final similarity for this part of the album. The implication for I'm so stupid. Genre for this album is atmospheric black metal, or ambient black metal. So ambient black metal. So black and ambience would be a good word for that. But again, it's black and ambience. That's actually a pretty good genre name. So black and ambience would be symphonic black metal and ambient metal all put together. That's a blackened ambience. There you go. And then you would have doom. It would definitely be doom. It's very doomy kind of album. It is very progressive sometimes on this album. And how many is that? It's 3, right? So we got 2 more. It's melodic. It's melodic black metal. And it's very post-metal, I guess. Post-black? Yeah, post-black metal? Kinda. Those are what I'm going with. The implication. So let's look at the picture. It looks like the picture it's a painting, first off. And you guys can tell me the lore later. Don't tell me after this, please. It's a bear, and it looks like it's a centaur fighting a bear. This represents darkness fighting light. And what I notice here, reclamation. It seems like the spirit of, or like the body of the beginning of, restoration, when he was born again. Then ascension, he rises again as ascent. I can't remember what the fucking implications were. But abreaction, I really didn't have a good implication for that. But it feels like this album is kind of getting. It's kind of the same sense as Restoration. The Sun and Moon is very paganistic. Sun and Moon, very paganistic. Causes throughout time, from the fog of wars, building into world, transcends through grief. Like at the moment, reverie. Yeah, I feel like this is an album. It's kind of like a war album. Kind of like this centaur being, which is the moon, by the way, is fighting against like evil, or fighting against the land, because it's a druid. Centaurs are druids, by the way. I'm a fucking WoW player, or I used to be at least. So it's a druid, and it's fighting to get nature back to the way it was. Kind of, so it's trying to reclaim nature. It's trying to reclaim where it belongs. It's trying to reclaim its rightful place in the world, rather than being taken by darkness. That's what I feel it's about. And dude, this shit's so fucking hard sometimes, but yeah. All right, my rating for this album, it's really fucking good. There's just one complaint that I have about this mix in this album, The vocals are a bit too low. I don't know if it's my headphones. The vocals could have been turned up a little bit. That's just my personal opinion. Other than that, I don't really have too much bad things to say about this. But that is the most negative thing I could say about this album is the vocals. This album is going to get a 9.25 out of 10 because I'm holding you guys to high expectations on the next one, and then I will do a final review for both of them at the end. But that's what I'm gonna give this one. 9.25. This wasn't too bad. It's not as good as Ascension, but it's not that bad. I like this. All right, guys. Now you guys can give me your thoughts on everything I just said.
Where do we start?
Wherever you want. What are your guys' favorite tracks on the album? On this album?
Oh. So on part one, this is James. I think my favorite track has always been Vermilion Fog of War. I would say that my second favorite track is probably Senses Amplified.
Okay.
Aaron?
Yeah, mine are probably, well, pretty conceited choices because they're the ones I'm probably the most involved in this album would be Reverie and Sun and Moon. I agree on Reverie. Is probably the one I go back to the most on this album.
Yeah.
Just in terms of, I think it's the most epic in terms of the
track,
harsh
dude.
vocals and the clean vocals and just the cellos and everything. So it kind of just hits all of like the Amiensus high notes for me in regards to if I think about Amiensus, like that would be a track I would show somebody if they were like, hey, you're in a band. I'd be like, here's like a good, gives you an idea of what to expect from Amiensus just overall. So that would be my pick. What about you, Todd?
Yeah, Reverie is a good distillation of kind of our sound. I'd probably say Sun and Moon personally. I just really love how that composition turned out and the building of the layers. So that's probably what I'd go with.
All right, guys. What about your who do you guys think fucking own this album? Your MVP?
I'm going to go with Todd.
Yeah.
Honestly, like so when we were listening back to it, and like it's not that I haven't listened to it super recently because I have, but when I was listening back while you were streaming it, like specifically Spoken into Will, I was like, damn, I forgot how fucking groovy Todd was on this fucking song. Like he's just underneath that guitar, like playing his own fucking shit the whole time. And then Sun and Moon obviously is also like a really kind of proggy mix with the acoustic and bass starting out by themselves, and that one was really fun. Kelsey wrote most of Sun and Moon, and I was just kind of here like he was where I'm sitting right now as we're talking. He was in here recording that with me in my office and coming up with these riffs, and I was kind of helping him like put together the structure and stuff. But then we sent it to Todd, and Todd sent us back like a Guitar Pro bus of the bass, and I stuck it into the project and threw like the Neural DSP parallax tones on it,
dude.
and I was like, shit,
I run the
this is
same
gonna be
shit.
fucking cool.
I love Parallax.
Yeah, that's like I would give not to say that Chris shouldn't be the MVP.
No, you're
because
good.
I'm just
Everybody has
I'm just
their
waiting
opinions.
I'm just waiting for part two because like I think that's where Chris is just like off his fucking chain in part two, but in part one I would give it to Todd as MVP.
Okay.
Thank you. I don't have to play like Seinfeld jingles anymore to like get by. People appreciate me for a bass player. Yeah, personally, I definitely was thinking the same as James in terms of part two. I think Chris will really show out as probably the top of the ticket. But I would probably say James for this one, just because I know a lot of the tracks are his tracks.
Yeah.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of the demos ended up being your songs on this first half.
Yeah,
So-
part one. Let me see. Blink of the Moment and Reverie. I wrote. I helped like arrange Sun and Moon essentially and recorded all of it. What happens after that? Vermilion. I didn't do. A Consciousness Throughout Time is the track I wrote. I wrote Spoken into Will, and then those are the tracks I wrote.
So I'd probably say James. I was glad to see what Kelsey did with some of the music. I really like that too. So that's probably my thoughts on the first part one.
Yeah, for me, for the sake of being different, I'll probably say Kelsey, just from Sun and Moon, and then Transcendence Through Grief, the last song. That was.
It's a good song.
I'm just gonna call that one out just because that was a lot of fun to write. That one was basically me, Jimmy, and Kelsey just getting together in a room with 3 acoustic guitars and we're just writing riffs for a couple hours. So that was a fun just kind of experience just because we don't get to do that super often. And we just sat down, we're like, we're writing an acoustic song for this. We think it's going to be instrumental. We're going to ask Antoine to do it, or to be on it, which the great irony of that song, which we called out a bit, was we asked him to be on it because he's an amazing finger-style acoustic player. And then when he sent it back, he had done an electric solo over the top. So we thought there was some irony out of that, but really love that. But I'll call out Kelsey just because I think whenever he gets to do his acoustic stuff, specifically being a classically trained guy, I think is fun. So I know we'll take advantage of that going forward. But yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun vibe when the 3 of us and Todd, included too. When Todd gets included with
course,
the 4 of us, because that's the 4 core that are kind of here in Minnesota right now that we can get together every once in a while and jam.
So do you guys feel that my similarities were peak or shit? Be honest with me. All right, did I nail some of them? Or I nail all of them?
You nailed some of them. I would say that like there's a good chunk of those bands that I have barely heard or not heard. I mean, I can name influences for you, and like my favorite bands are my biggest influences. Speaking of, in terms of like what kind of music I write, like Agalloch is actually probably like I'm the dude in the band that has like been obsessed with Agalloch for forever.
My neighbor showed me
the
them.
other.
I haven't fully listened to anything by them yet, but he showed me a snippet of them. I was like, who the fuck is this?
I think I will gladly watch that stream with you, or be involved in that stream. But
Yeah.
Agalloch's probably like the biggest one for this band for me. I mean, like Zeppelin, I'm not joking, is probably my second largest influence, and then third is probably Under Oath. So if there's any
That's
metalcore
wild.
influences, that's kind of me.
Post-hardcore in a black metal band. That's fucking insane, dude. That's crazy. I like that though. I like that you have that uniqueness that you enjoy Under Oath that much. I love Under Oath too. So yeah, that's
Hell yeah.
pretty cool.
Can't wait to see them in October.
All right. How about you, Aaron?
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest in terms of familiarity with a lot of bands, just given where I'm at in life I have a young family, a couple of kids and all that, so I don't get to listen to a lot of music, and if I do, it's usually stuff from like Jimmy and some of the other guys in the band mentioning stuff, so I kind of go off what they say. If they're like, oh yeah, somebody compared us to this, and I'm like, okay, yeah, and then I'll go check them out and stuff like that. But, so unfortunately, I don't have a lot of insight into what you picked, but for me, if anything, it gives me like some ideas of what to go out of my way to listen to. So I'll definitely go back and listen to the ones that you called out. But what do you think, Todd?
Yeah, I'd say definitely in terms of influences that I kind of put into the band, I try and pull, I think, mostly from kind of Opeth and Cynic as well. Not that I have quite the jazz expertise in any way that Cynic does to their music, but yeah, I really like that kind of stuff to bring in more melodic bass lines and more little counterpoint or harmonies or different things. So
I'm looking at your guys' pictures, and I just want to kind of figure out who's who. I know that James is in the middle on the Spotify picture. I want the Meshuggah shirt.
Spotify?
Yeah, I gotta bring up. I think it's our.
No, that's me in the Meshuggah shirt.
What the fuck? That's Todd. What?
Todd, yeah.
I figured the lead singer would be right in the middle. I was like, fuck.
It was kind of placed randomly. Wait, Jimmy's cut off in the Facebook picture. What actually? That's funny.
On the Spotify, it goes myself, Todd in the middle. Then to my right, it goes Aaron, and then to the right of Aaron is James, kind of looking off to his left.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm wearing glasses. on the right.
Nice.
And then Kelsey with the glasses up top, Chris with the beard, and then Alec to the left of Todd, and then Joe, the bald guy.
Wow, man.
The bald guy.
The bald guy. when I met
Sorry,
him,
Joe,
he had
if you're watching.
2 feet of red, gorgeous locks, and he shaved it off.
Oh,
Damn,
I
bro.
forgot about that.
Like dreadlocks?
No, I just mean like curly,
Ah.
gorgeous red hair.
Damn, bro.
Ginger bastard.
All right, guys, let's talk genre, man. How about this blackened ambience? What do you think of that? Do you like that?
So we, like Restoration, we really rolled with the term atmospheric black metal, and that kind of followed us originally for the first like few years of our existence until like Ascension came out, and we were like, oh, this is like more like symphonic black metal, to be honest. Because we switched from more of like the synths to the actual strings, and we used a lot of like the Contact library when it came to the strings on Ascension.
Beautiful library.
Versus like now we use
Ethereal Earth, you're talking about?
what's that?
Ethereal Earth? Is that what you guys use?
I'm not really. We used.
I want to
we
say
used
Alec was using East-West.
East West. Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah. He was
nice.
using East
Symphonic.
West.
Nice.
Yeah, Alec did most of the orchestration on Ascension. Joe did a little bit as well, and then pretty much after Ascension, we like I mentioned All Pass Lead to Death because we literally like cut the keys almost entirely for that EP, and it's like a 30-minute EP, so it's almost like a full length record itself.
I noticed that part 2 is shorter than part 1 too. It looks like
It is. I mean, it's only one song shorter, but that's also. I mean, it's 90 minutes in total, but the first half is 52 minutes, and the second half is only 38 minutes.
Yeah. So the
But-
Yeah, we just-
the implication. What do you guys feel about the? Is it about a druid trying to reclaim the land? Is that what it's about?
That's a pretty good interpretation of what Arya drew. I didn't really give. I gave Arya the album as we were in the middle of mixing it when we asked her to do artwork, and I gave her the album, and then I kind of let her know what some of the topics of the lyrics were, and she kind of drew her interpretation of that. And I gave her the album title. I think I decided on probably over 2 years ago. It was probably like 2021 when I came up with the title.
It's very
So
cool.
I kind of named it Reclamation because we've been a band for 14 years now, but like probably 10 years at the point. And there had definitely been a lot of like, where is this band going? Not just between us, but like our audience definitely was a little confused by All Pass and Avery Action at some points. And like to us, as the band making this, we're like, oh, we know exactly, like, this is the direction we're going with this music. But I think people were like, every album is so different. Even though everything sounds like Amiensus, I think every album is like distinctly got its own voice. To me, at least, as the person who's been involved in making them. But
I noticed with the druid on the cover, she has hooves for feet, and then she has hands on the front end. That's very, very unique as far as an artist's perspective. That way that she designed that, it's really, really cool. I like
yeah,
it.
Arya's amazing. I think your interpretation is pretty on the spot of the artwork. I think the two halves are kind of like the first half is the struggle, the second half is the triumph.
Yep, I noticed that because the sun's it's like blaring and stuff. But we'll get into that. All right, guys, we're gonna go into a quick 10-minute break. So if you guys want to go, I apologize. This is late, guys, but yeah, we gotta have that break, right? So
I gotta pee.
we will be back in 10 minutes, and don't be late.